time. I'm running around looking for peace of mind. So come out and change me. You were always around to make me smile. like I'm waiting, like I'm watching you follow. Dreams where I'm fading, I'm fading. So free all the talking, wasting all your time. I'll give you standing in front of the lamp, waiting for something I can't make out. But I wanna talk to you, to pull you aside. I wanna ask you to come with me tonight. I wanna stay by your side.
All right, what's up, y'all? Grand Rising, good morning. How we feeling today? All right, another day. We have more trades to take. I know yesterday, at least I had just one clean setup on Dow. And it was good, and then it just went to sleep. So got a little over 1 hour over there. Looked pretty good. But today we have more movement. We got some volatility. I think we have some opportunity. So let's dive into indices. We got a little bit of everything going on today. Some volatility with Dow Jones and Q. Let's see how price action unfolds over here. And yeah, what we can get going on this side. Metals had a nice little sell-off here throughout London. Basically, end of Asian session going into London. We had some bearish movement here as well. Gold just took the low and then started to rip. So maybe there's a setup in here later. And then oil actually traded up into these zones that Seth talked about yesterday. So shorts with oil all the way up top at the extremes around 88.50. Playing out really, really nice. Curious if anybody ended up shorting these setups from the zone. With oil, I am in the habit of basically just taking them on the extremes on the absolute outside of the higher time frame zones. So if there's ever like two mitigation zones back to back, like really near each other, with oil, man, I'm taking the one that is furthest out. Like the external liquidity sweep is kind of what I'm looking for. I wasn't up for this, so no trade for me. But markets are moving nicely. You know, we got some momentum going. Have some things marked up with majors. We saw Bitcoin get very close to 67,000 before cooling down a little bit. So we'll look at that as well. But welcome everybody. Welcome. All right, what's up, Jeff? We got Drevis, Puccini, Gabriel, ¿Qué tal? Palomo, Patrick, Morning Harsh. All right, looks like we got little reunions going on here. Adrian, what's goody, my boy? Buenas tardes. What's up, Brandon? Rafa Coy, Querecia, Greg. Morning. What up, Ty? Seth? What is good? Edwin, Joe, Omar, Yoslin. Tefi, buenos días. Maria Lisa, Brandon, Jonathan, Marty, and Lojenko. Okay, guys, so, I mean, New York Open is in, right? We're in the first minute of all of this brand new volatility. So let's see what kind of fun we got going on here today. NQ just worked its way down to fill the imbalance from, well, some of the imbalance from Asian session. Will this be everything that the market tackles on today? Probably not. To be fair, I don't imagine so. Yesterday we had these lows here during Asian session. I don't believe we'll leave it at this. So shorts, would love to get into some sells. However, I'll be real. I don't have an entry for selling here with NQ. Nothing that I'm totally in love with. The Tokyo highs over here, or the New York highs over here, I do think can get swept. So we have, I mean, Tokyo sets up a little bit of a push before it drops, but it's just nothing too significant for me. Right now, we witnessed here just not too long ago a nice spike to the downside. Look at this clean little push down, market rallies. So this could be creating a little bit of a bullish movement, right? You see the big spike down here, the market starts to trade away. On the 1 minute time frame, we're seeing like a higher high, but I need more convincing. I need time to sit up here for a little bit longer. Yes, we've been moving bullish these last couple days. The tides are turning to the upside over here, but you know, can't get too ahead of ourselves. I do think that we need to see the market trade up here a little bit longer. So let's see this take out London high. If the market does trade above London high for some time, then you know what? Okay, cool. I'm down. You can convince me on a buy over here later. But I do want some more of this, right? I want to see the market give us a little bit more bullish trading before we start seeing anything over here. So let's see what happens. We have Dow leading the bullish movement already. So Dow's already like been there, bro, done that. We took out London highs, NQ, you're slow. Do something, right? So we see huge movement to the upside. The market squeezes. Dow pushes all the way down to here. So great movement from Dow Jones, taking out these lows. And I could see why some people may want to sell Dow over here. There's an imbalance, big spike up. I'm not going to. I think Dow is more bullish than even NASDAQ itself. So I'm okay with just not being involved right now. I'm chilling. So I'm going to wait this out. I'm going to wait out any opportunities there. I'm okay with just holding off on any of this. New York highs, I think, definitely have a chance of getting broken above. So, you know, the structure of the high of yesterday, I'm at peace with not being involved in that. We traded down into this imbalance, but I felt like as I'm looking at the market over here and where everything starts to dump from, I guess it depends on how you're seeing this, but we dropped down to here and then we're kind of choppy until right here where everything really sells off. So I don't know. I feel like we still could have gone lower, but I understand here yesterday, 8:36 a.m., about 5-6 minutes after New York opened, that's where the market starts to reverse. So we kind of dipped down right here just a little bit, and then we get the really aggressive reversal now. So I wonder if that is truly the reversal. I don't think so. I feel like we really start to sell off a little lower. And this is very borderline. Like it takes the London lows and then makes its move. So I guess we'll see, right? We'll see how that goes. So we have two possible scenarios as well for Dow for reversals. So one in this range, today's low, and then one that's based off of yesterday's low. All right, so we got two different setups. Yeah, so things are looking like we could have some fun this session. We might be having a good time over here. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so staying out of that. So the sells really don't look as clear to me. If you guys are seeing something that I'm not, all right, be my guest, let me know. But yeah, sells, I don't really see the setup. Maybe higher time frame and I'm missing it. So let's zoom out a little bit, right? Let's see where we're at here. When we're zooming out a bit, what you can see from last Thursday, which is like the New York highs from last Thursday, with S&P, you get a pretty aggressive move to the upside before everything starts to sell off. So you kind of get this huge push like way up here. And we haven't really worked our way back up here yet. So I wonder if we're going to have a similar trading environment here. This is last Thursday, about 9 a.m. Central, like 30 minutes after New York open. That brings that, I think that's the same setup right around here. So Dow has this setup over here. And yeah, taking out New York highs, the high from this week, and trading into, maybe we have some sort of price action over here. We kind of had a shakeout before, but you know, as we're looking at price here, this is just Dow from last week, last Friday. Little push up, market just kind of chops up and down, and then it reverses. So nothing too conclusive, nothing that I'm sure is screaming at you. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just wait this one out, and then NQ here getting closer and closer, but you know, taking its time to get to these key levels. So I just don't think there's much to rush with indices over here. And I think waiting for the market to, if they are going to take some of these highs, maybe we get shakeouts in these really key zones. So taking out session highs, seeing if the market's going to lose momentum and not have demand and all that good stuff. So yeah, I think some patience here. London highs are vulnerable to get taken out. Dow is the most bullish, so to selling this, if you are under, if you're like, all right, I want to trade basically just like Mike, then this would be going against the plan because it is the most bullish between the indices and it's not really a setup. Like if you wanted to shake out, I mean, it's swept liquidity and then it's doing the break and retest thing here, but then it keeps going lower and lower and lower, and it already broke and then broke below the structure anyway. So shorts here, don't follow my plan, so I'm not taking this. But obviously, if you're not trading exactly like me and you're doing your own thing, you have your own setups and confirmations, then just make sure you're following them and you're not just wilding out over there. But okay, beyond that, metals. So yesterday we had some actually really cool movement. Silver trades into this peak, and I take a position here actually. So silver trades right into this zone, and at the same time, so this is Friday price action. This is like the last pump up before the market gapped down, and so we had filled this imbalance on Tuesday, but we hadn't closed out where the market spiked up. And gold had a very similar setup here. However, it had equal highs. So gold had equal highs over here. So once the market took these highs and traded towards this area, that for me was, I gave a confirmation for the sell on silver. And so I ended up selling this to New York highs here, over here, and taking profit well, actually while I was asleep. So anyone take the silver sell, just by any chance here? Let me know. But now something interesting is happening. is that we're seeing gold break above these Thursdays. So look at the structure, right? We had higher lows, or lower lows, lower highs over here. You had this structure there, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then once price failed to really stay below these lows, that's when, in my eyes, this high was going to be pretty vulnerable. And so now not only have we taken that, but we've taken highs above here. So I think we can get extremes. We can get to the extremes of gold way over here from Tuesday's price action. Maybe it happens now, maybe it happens later. But now that we're breaking these highs, this is like 2 weeks ago. This is a key like higher time frame structure. So when the market starts to liquidate things like this, and you start to see that, here's where you have, not that they're going to reverse, but here's where you can start paying attention and looking at whether it's just gold or you're looking at some sort of other asset, and you start seeing, okay, we could be in reversal territory soon. So let's say we looked at the market over here. It looks like we had some pretty big moves to the upside for metals. So I'm looking at silver over here, and I'm seeing, okay, like the market really starts to rally and take out this high right around the end of, during Asian session. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like we have some pretty decent movement over here. Okay, like maybe we can get a sell from over in these zones, in this territory over here. And then when you see multiple elements of the market lining up, okay, cool. Now you can have a better opportunity. So over here, we see the market take out those highs before everything comes crashing. Silver is slower to work its way up. This is Thursday, July 9th, that spike up. If you look at gold, gold's already clearing that Thursday, all right, July 9th, it's already clearing above this liquidity. So silver reaching this zone over here, for me, is good news. That I have already green light to take a sell because gold is more bullish. So I'm open to selling over here in this area, 60.85, 90, right around the zone. Makes sense. Obviously, depending on what you're trading with, you may have limited options with trading silver. For some of you, depending on your prop firm, maybe a micro, a couple micros. Minis, you're asking for quite a bit of drawdown here. So careful with minis with silver, guys. That can be pretty aggressive. So just something to think about there. And then, so I'll come back to that, okay? I'll come back to that. We have all of that lined up. And then coming back into indices, right? So we're seeing London highs get swept. Dow took that out. Our S&P has cleared that. S&P has other alternatives as well. So other equal highs over here, session highs that it can take. Cool. Dow has rejected and then coming back up again. Okay. And Q taking out London highs for the first time. So really, at this point, we're seeing so much bullish momentum with indices to kick things off. However, what's interesting is that it didn't really liquidate much before it started making all this movement. So a lot of times, this to me just seems like something that may not last as long as we'd think. The one thing I could see a reversal on early is we have some of this like liquidity for New York session, and then during Tokyo session, NQ takes a pretty aggressive movement up before it just starts to push down. So maybe it gets some sort of rejections over here somewhere, but it still has like other highs. So like I don't love when the market trades like this. Not my favorite style. But we'll see. Okay, so while this is doing its thing, y'all talk to me. All right, what else do you have in mind? How are you guys seeing the market? What looks good? What's, you have anything enticing here? Oil sells again, were fantastic, right? Absolutely fantastic over here. Would love to see another option here, honestly. So we just got a nice little spike up, come back down. I wonder, do we trade over here somewhere? Do we get another setup? It's not really there yet. But give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Panic? Why are you panicking? It's okay. All right, got a little Dow alert. Cool. So Dow takes the highs as we expected. Obviously, it sucks sometimes because you're like, I kind of know where it's going to go, but I don't know where to get in or if to get in. And yeah, I think when you have these kind of moments, these are the moments where, like, here's New York Open, right? It spikes down, and then it starts taking out London highs. So what you don't want to do is you don't just want to get in because you think you know where it's going to go, because then that would make you pretty vulnerable to some drawdown. So like, let's say we're over here, just to replay like kind of how we were looking at the market. And you don't have a specific type of entry model, so you don't know, okay, well, where would I put my stop then? Where would I, like, what would I do here? And so let's say you get in, well, some people take an entry with just a contract that they're familiar with, but then you never accept the loss because you never accepted, well, where would this have to go for this trade to be invalid? So even though like you kind of know where the market wants to go to, if you don't know how to accept the loss and when to accept the loss, it's a slippery slope because you might take just whatever you normally trade contracts wise, and then all of a sudden you're in drawdown, but you're like, no, but I think it's still going to get up here. So yeah, I just got to be willing to accept it. You know what I mean? But okay. NQ much slower to the upside, so we still have a much better opportunity for buys with Dow than we do with anything else. Okay, so just because structure is holding up here significantly better. Now Dow's the first to take out New York highs. That's pretty clear. S&P not quite there yet. So S&P still pushing towards taking out Tokyo highs, and you might see these New York highs get sold off. Now, one thing I could consider, I wouldn't say this is like, and I appreciate you guys that, you know, like the stream, subscribe, share it with like other traders. It means a lot. So appreciate y'all for, you know, doing all that, hyping the videos, all that good stuff. But one thing that I'm curious about is if we were to see S&P take out Tokyo highs, maybe even New York highs here, depending on where that places NQ, there is a world in which I could see a short for NQ. Like right now, we just took, you know, we're seeing the break above this little structure. This is the bigger range from New York to London. So there is a world in which I kind of see a reversal around here somewhere. But I'm only semi-curious about this. And I would need to see like S&P taking out Tokyo, maybe even New York, to be open to this. But the silver setup just triggered here, or the alert just went off. So now going back to the 1 hour, right, this is where we had the last push up here. We just had the market break this structure briefly. So now we're seeing silver up in the zone. Market could sell from here. And then we're seeing gold still above these highs over here. So gold rejecting this order block. One thing that you'll notice is that gold is currently much slower to the upside. So silver in these last few minutes has definitely picked up the pace. The last 30 minutes or so since New York opened, silver has been extremely bullish while gold has been a bit slower to get to these zones. So despite silver being a lot more bearish, like, you know, again, I'll give you guys the example one more time. Silver here, and maybe I'll do a side-by-side chart. That's probably going to be easier. But silver is currently doing this. That's divergence on the higher time frames. It's making lower highs. While gold what we got? Gold here. Gold. So let's see the same thing, right? Actually, I'll just do 4 hour. It'll be a lot easier. So here's silver, and here's gold. So if we're looking at the same zones, look at this. All right, big difference, massive difference. So around these areas, I think silver definitely has potential to sell off over here. I don't want to take a silver sell so low in this range. That would completely crush, like just what I would say is manageable risk reward. If I'm going to take something here, I want to at least be able to fill some of this imbalance, trade down to this area. Yeah, my SS high, everybody. So I do want to see this push up a bit higher before considering everything. And the added bonus, if we're looking at correlation, if we're looking at just a more detail in general, the added bonus is I think we can still wait, because if indices want to push a little bit higher, which I think they do, I think that'll just keep like letting silver travel. So we have S&P that's pretty close to taking out Tokyo highs, maybe New York highs. You have Dow that's still ripping, still pushing higher, breaking above multiple highs over here. So you're seeing now, now we start to get into potential reversals. The structure here on Dow, here was the previous 1 hour high. So now it's getting above here, okay? And then you're seeing NQ start to line up with these Tokyo highs. So I still think that we have a bit more to go. S&P close to taking out Tokyo highs. I want to see it take out New York highs before I consider shorts. And we're getting closer and closer to sells here with silver. So that is S&P taking out Tokyo highs. So now we're getting closer to New York highs. Dow way up here, going crazy. And then we have NQ almost in this area. So look at the divergence, right? If you guys want to see really, really good divergence, take a look at this. Even from New York highs, like here's Dow, way up in here, higher highs. While NQ, way down here, lower highs. So more of this. Getting pretty close to shorts over here. I'm gonna wait this out. I'm cool with waiting this out here. And the last piece of the puzzle for me is going to be S&P taking out New York highs. And then I'm cool with this last pump. This is like this Asian session push to the upside. What creates the Tokyo highs and then makes this move down. I'm open to this idea. Silver still pushing. So like I mentioned, I think this can keep going. So I'm actually going to keep holding off on this. Meanwhile, gold also doing its thing. Okay. All right, S&P here above Tokyo highs. Kind of struggling to get up to this zone though. All right, so we're starting to see small short reversals here with NQ. S&P looks like it took out Tokyo highs, came up into this zone. Maybe it's not gonna wait to take out New York highs before we see the short. Let's see. I'm getting closer to pulling the trigger on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just be ready here. Looks like this might I might be slightly under leveraged by the time this goes. Maybe not. Depends on where we're at here. So we're almost there. No entries quite yet. Since silver and indices are correlated, I'm probably not going to take both silver and NQ. Oh, my bad. I'm wilding over here. Probably take either or, just one or the other. Looks like NQ is holding it down significantly better. Like it's just struggling to push, keep pushing as high. So I'm open to this. There is a small chance that, let's say, S&P doesn't want to take out New York highs and it just is going to liquidate Tokyo highs. So if that's the case, then I might just be missing out on a trade here. Let's see. Silver's still ripping, man. Yeah, so I'm holding off on this one. I think it's a little redundant if you're looking to execute indices and metals at the same time, unless they're like different entries, which I guess these kind of are. At this rate, if this keeps pushing, I might be missing out on this whole trade. Anyone already pulled the trigger on NQ? You're in on silver? See, I waited. I stayed out of silver just because it seemed like indices were just holding off. Like NQ was just a much, like, not as aggressive to the upside. But yeah, that divergence with silver was really good though. If it wasn't for all of us doing the same thing or a similar movement, I think I would already be in silver. Well, let's see. Honestly, I think NQ might have already mitigated. 72 points. This thing is dropped. No, not quite. Okay. 40 something. What do you guys think? Is this going to leave without me? Is that game? Might be. So, all right, let's see if this thing... So if this drops to like over here somewhere, then that's it. Dow's still pushing higher. All right, S&P making its move. So what did you guys already do? Let me look at the chat. Pull on silver. Okay. Mike, question, is this one of those cases where you're looking at the entire market's momentum and you're more inclined to stay out since it'll take a lot for, in this case, NQ to slow down and reverse? No. I think it's a little different. Yeah, I don't know this the freight train thing. I think that's something you made up. Maybe I said it, but maybe it was misinterpreted. So, because everything else is more bullish and NQ is the one that's struggling the most to go up, that's why I'm more inclined to trade NQ versus everything else. Like, silver had a setup that I was interested in, right? But metals and indices were both doing similar movements, and silver had a setup, but NQ does too. So because everything is taking out, everything is basically wiping out key areas of reversals. Let's see here. All right. So I'm in here now with NQ. Just took a position. Market execution here for me. Now that S&P has taken out New York highs, then now I'm in here. So looks like silver just spiked up before. Looks like it's dropping now. And I know I brought silver to your guys' attention, so I feel partially responsible for your losses. But I also didn't say I was getting in yet. But yeah, anyways, because of how everything is moving, right? Like the entire marketplace is getting into reversal areas. NQ is the one struggling the most. And where I see this could clear we had what pumped to make the Tokyo high. And we have a lot of divergence. I'm in on this trade now. The market would have to drop basically, yeah, right, to 29,215-ish to call it a day. So, yeah, right now, are we going against the momentum of the market? Yes, like that's true, for sure. However, the divergence is pretty aggressive with NQ. So that's just what made the most sense for me. So despite silver getting into an area that I liked for the sell, which was right over here. Let's see. Yeah, these highs. It did break it, sadly. But, there is a higher zone too. But anyways, when it's like, when the markets are correlated this much, it is what it is. So it looks like we made the right call in waiting. How many times did it feel like, oh man, maybe I should get in? Like, is S&P going to take the high? What if it leaves without me? All of those thoughts ran through my head. All of those. Like, I don't know if I want to wait. Like, what if it doesn't? What if it drops early? But I did. Waited for New York highs to get swept. As soon as it did that, NQ gave us the pullback. We got basically as good of an entry as we could have gotten. And at least as of now, it looks like the market is starting to reverse pretty well over here. Let's see, 286, 87. So it seems like this is giving us the mitigation, the exchange of money. Kind of depends on where you're drawing this out over here. See, like, if it's over here, then we need about 70 points. If it's a little bit higher, then obviously you need less. The way that it's reversing, especially after that S&P takes out those highs, I feel like this is the bare minimum we're going to get. We're getting already like 55 points or so. So, yeah, I'm going to reduce my stops to here, to this previous high. And see how we keep pushing along. I think bare minimum, we can trade to where we had where this spiked down into. Especially considering that this is staying within this range over here. We got Dow potentially, right? But Dow right now potentially is only breaking these highs. So this might be very temporary. And we might see this really want to come back down to New York Open or this low. So we have New York Open right here. Right, this traded into, like, here was that last little spike into New York Open. And then you have that liquidation before New York Open. So I think Dow getting at least to over here. And that will probably bring NQ down pretty nicely. You have S&P, which, again, takes out New York highs. So it fails to make this low, which means this high is more vulnerable. So it took out that high. But now it failed to really make a high there as well. So how good is this low anyways? I guess we'll see. So I have alerts around different indices. I think we have potential to get around to different areas. Obviously, I already reduced my risk. So instead of risking my full R anymore, now our exposure is pretty minimal. I think it's like 16 points of drawdown in a worst case scenario over here. Yeah, this is fallen off enough. So if this is all the market wanted to give me, cool. I'll take a small loss, and that's it. Otherwise, maybe we get some pullbacks into this imbalance, and then we just make another leg down right now. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Funny enough, now Dow wants to go down. Now Dow's like, all right, cool. You know what? Let's flip to the downside over here. So we're starting to see a bit more of bearish pressure from Dow Jones. Here's where we started to take out New York high. So all of this move is just clearing tons and tons and tons of liquidity. And remember, Dow trades a little differently, right? Dow takes out some of the higher time frame highs. So Dow takes out a lot more liquidity, while NQ is has divergence. So there's a chance that this setup may turn into a Dow shakeout. So we might see a good old sweep of the high, come back in, get a little break and retest action before the market continues to reverse. All of that's totally possible. Let's see what happens. For now, we're hanging on though. Hanging in there. If we break below here again, then I'll tighten my stop up a little bit more. All right, cool. Who's in this NQ trade? Put an NQ in the chat if you're in this short with me. Stayed out of silver. Was able to get in on NQ market execution on the pullback. Sick. Awesome. Awesome. Nice stuff. Ganesha, Fast Track member is in. Let's go. Awesome. 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 Speaking of Fast Track, guys, the time has come once again. If you are newish to trading, newer to futures, or if you feel like you've just been in the beginner mode for way too long, then I do invite you, right? I do invite you to check out our 30-day, this is just one-time 30-day program to get you to feeling like you've broken out of your beginner stage and you're at a point where you can confidently take on evaluations, funded accounts, start trading your live accounts. So if that's you, we're gonna host a call on July 29th, so in 1 week. And you can get registered for that with this link. So I'm actually going to pin this. If that's you, if that sounds like you, definitely go ahead and do that. If you know you're way past the beginner stage, then that's not for you, okay? Just to save you some time, I don't want you to be on the call that doesn't really pertain to you. But if you know you're like, man, I kind of just feel like, one, I am a beginner or I've just been in this phase, then check that out, guys. The Fast Track has been so monumental for so many traders in here. Some of those have become syndicate members, and some of them are now at a point where it took them years to get to what 30 days did for them. So yeah, check it out. At least that's just for the webinar, so you can learn more about it and see if it's for you. So register there. We will have that call here in 1 week, and the program starts August 3rd. So don't miss out. So now we've broken below here again, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up, right? We're gonna get into profit here now. I'm actually gonna move it right into where we started to just sell off aggressively. So right over here. And so now we're seeing NQ with some nice movement. Dow also sliding right down. Okay, so good move. So aggressive push down, immediately comes back up. I like putting my stop right there when we get aggressive breakouts because sometimes money comes in and then that's all it was. So that's why I like to do it that way. But right now, guys, we are sitting at over a 1-to-1 risk reward. Here's where the entry ended up being. And so this is nicely pushing along. We are seeing NQ move with more momentum to the downside. It's kind of going back and forth, to be fair, actually. So decent movement, not too shabby. I think overall we're going to get to over here at least. So I do think we have quite a bit of room to be running here still for this. I'm actually going to move my stop back over to here. I want to give it a little bit more. And the reason being when this broke down here, it wasn't like it was taking out a liquidity or anything. It's just kind of in an imbalance formation. So I do want to see this continue to move along. But one thing I'm noticing is in the last, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, we are starting to see more momentum to the downside from Dow, from S&P, and now it's kind of slowed down with NQ. So I do think that we might be a bit more like the momentum shift to the downside, and now Dow is what really has that bearish movement. So if we start to see, let's say, Dow get to these reversal areas down here, and this still wants to stay and keep doing its thing, then honestly, I might pull the trigger a little bit earlier. I might take my profit a little bit earlier. So we'll kind of see. We'll play it out. Silver shorts. So silver selling from, where was it? From over here, July 9th. And then the market decided that it wanted to not do that. So it broke above that before starting to crash. So that was a little disrespectful, if you ask me. Gold traded up towards this area. So you have the highs from July 7th for gold, and you have the highs from July 7th for silver. Both of these I do think are valid. It's just a matter of which one of the two. So if you like these areas of interest for silver, yeah, the highs up here. It looks like it starts around 61.78 and then spikes up to 62.30. So it's like a 50-point zone for silver. Looks like gold's a little bit closer to this area. Still same highs. Looks like it's around those New York Open or metals opens here. So yeah, stay on the lookout for something like that. Definitely could be an option. Otherwise, the alternative right now with whether it's metals or indices is this shakeout where the market takes out the highs. Now it's luring in, break and retest type of trading. So we might, stall a little bit, see a pullback there. At that point, that's where I'd be looking for some sort of shorts. So despite us having the momentum initially with NQ, it just looks like this might have a different incentive. NQ might want to still go take out Tokyo highs, New York highs, and maybe that sets up Dow. So we might be seeing the switch of price action here. I think I'm about to get tagged out at break even, or at least I'm pretty close. Yeah, there it is. So now I'm out. I would have made more money if I would have kept my stop here where I had it originally. For all I know, this is going to tag me out and then run. So whatever. But look at how price action flipped. NQ deciding to come back up while Dow is still chilling over here. Dow is now resting where it had New York highs, while NQ is only going higher. Okay. So this is where things get interesting. If we see NQ, so all right, we had our fun. We went like above about a 1 hour. So if we were to get NQ to take out Tokyo highs or New York highs, let's say, so we get above here, especially New York highs, and that lines up, and let's say that we have Dow still making lower highs, then I am open to shorting this. But I would definitely want to see NQ moving like that. So it's like the opposite of what we just did. All right, right before all of this, we had NQ giving us divergence, setting up and everything like that, making the lower high. But right now, we may end up seeing NQ making the higher high while Dow is making the lower high. So if we were to get something like that, yeah, I'm definitely game. So we might be seeing something like this while we have NQ making another leg up. It's possible. Can't guarantee anything, but it is possible. What would be super sad is if NQ just wanted to break above here real quick and then make its move. Now, I definitely could have had my stop up here. I definitely could have still kept my stop loss up here, and I would have survived this, which seems like maybe that would have been the best course of action. Considering that when we were making these lower lows, so lower low, lower high, these are like, the smallest of time frames. But when we were getting all of this over here, that definitely looked pretty clean. So we had the move up, down. This low did not stay here for very long. So for this to break this temporarily and then play out, in hindsight, the stop should have stayed right here. And look at all of this momentum now. Nice. Very nice. Okay, so there you have it. Maybe some of you survived that. Anyone still in NQ? Holding on? Mike, why do you move your stop that early? Why not let the market go till the movement was lower in the retracement, just to ensure not getting stopped out? Well, because one, it already mitigated, so it already had done its thing. So what the market owed me, if you will. That's why I moved my stop to here, because of the mitigation. So the move up was like 70 points, so the move down was like 70 something. So at that point, I move it here. And then typically it's based off of just the market volatility. So if the market starts to hold structure pretty well, then I can start moving it down. And this example, since we started to see Dow keep going lower and lower and NQ is kind of struggling, that's why I was a bit more like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should tighten it up a little faster in case NQ is just not going to be as bearish. So that was, yeah, I mean, a lot of times it works in my favor because sometimes you just get a big reversal. The market does the bare minimum and then it just is a huge reversal. So it's really up to the trader how optimistic you are. Just past the phase one. Let's go, Kayish. Sick, man. Stream's lagging. One sec. Are we good now? Yeah, okay. I think that was a bit ago. Bless you. Okay. For now, gold more bullish. Okay. Fast Strike is good. Fast Strike was goated. Duh. We got a little snipe on it. Yeah, we got a little snipe action. It was fun. I said, bless you, Mondo. Okay, so the other side, and as you guys can see, still like NQ took out the high, came right back down, so it's a lot choppier. It's not as clean. Whereas Dow is consistently making the lows, consistently pushing. NQ here is just kind of fighting its way down. Metals cleanly coming all the way down. Gold cleanly working its way down. So it's a lot different. NQ is what's struggling the most right now to work its way lower. So, I mean, I don't totally hate my decision here. It is what it is. If we have another setup, awesome. Now, though, right, considering how price is moving, what makes sense for trades? Well, what we have here where it's spiked down and worked its way up, I don't actually love this buy anymore because this high definitely was not to make higher highs. This was a liquidation, huge liquidity capture. So, yeah, I'm at peace with just not being in that anymore. I would rather look for a lower entry if we get one, whether it's with that. NQ, breaks above. NQ is holding this structure much better, so I guess we'll see how we work our way lower. We have zones across the board, so don't be in a rush to take trades. Take trades that make sense to you. Clearly, NASDAQ has a lot less momentum to the downside than it did before. So I would much rather see if we get a shakeout with Dow, see what happens here with NQ. I'm not going to pursue that again and look for another entry. Like, if there is no setup, there's no entry. That's all that you can say to it. Silver definitely was a bummer with it waking above and then crashing down. So yeah, possible trades. There's possibility. The buys on gold, I know some of you are asking or see this, or silver. Either or, again, same thing. Let's see how price stays up here or not. If the structure is good enough, then yes, you might have buying opportunities with metals down in these zones. It's just a matter of waiting for further confirmation. Buys on NQ, same thing, like I'm saying, like buys on NQ could be possible, especially now that structure's holding looks like a bit better. So we'll see. So you have the lows before New York open that have potential. Let's say Dow breaks these lows, S&P breaks these lows. That could give your NQ a decent opportunity. Yeah. Shakeout buy in oil. Let's see. Haven't looked at oil too much today. Oil. Okay, so I don't think you understand shakeouts, which is fair. I haven't released like a video to break it down that same way. And there are levels to this. In regards to liquidity sweeps, when you have the market push aggressively, whether it's down or up in either direction. So what you're looking for is basically for it to do this, right? That's kind of what you want to see. Because it had a big move down and came right back up. Cool. But when the market spikes, in this example, down, what is it doing? Where is it going? Here, the market spiked down, but it just filled in balance. It didn't take out London retail buyers. It didn't take out, Tokyo lows. It didn't take out any really major source of liquidity. So there's more, in my opinion, there's more motive for price to keep going lower than for it to go higher. Like it clears this low, sure, but then what? Like did it take out all the buyers from London session? No, it just kind of filled some imbalance. So honestly, I think this could go lower. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's how this ends up playing out. I have buys that I like on oil, but they're like way over here. Some sweeps over here across the board. So yeah, make sure it's like you're waiting for the London, Tokyo, or New York close. Otherwise, can these play out? I mean, sure, but the probabilities are just lower. It's just not as likely. That's the biggest thing. It's just not as likely. Yeah, I think the setup that is possible now is this Dow short. The market took out tons of sellers. Now it came, melting down. Here it's given the good old break and retest. So market's starting to move sideways, loading up some buyers. This will probably push up somewhere over into here. So, let's say you're looking for, some of you maybe bought this right here, right? You're already in this and you're in profit. That could be you. It's not my trade, but I see it, I get it. And so what I want to see now is I want to see NQ take out, and metals are the same thing as YM, but are closer. What do you mean by closer? But yes, very similar movement. I think I get what you're saying. Yeah. So metals went up, came down, came up again. So metals, gold, and silver doing the same thing. However, I don't think it was. I think they're gonna take the highs though. So for example, gold already retracing a lot faster, a lot more aggressively. Like the move down and up, it's not as extreme. Like we're already, for example, and you can use your fib tool. I think it's what you mean. So we're already seeing this go like 38.2 pullback, whereas Dow was very minimal. Like it's still like right at the low. So yeah, exactly what you're saying. This is like kind of struggling to go up as much, and metals were coming back up pretty quickly. So I think that's exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, so this NQ trade, despite us waiting for a good entry, sometimes and it's very clear, it's just not it. Like, could this still play out? Maybe it works out. Maybe it breaks out and works its way over here. But what we know for sure now is it doesn't have the same momentum. Like, the real bear for this moment is Dow. It's significantly more bearish. So you can't keep approaching the market, or at least I don't keep approaching the market with this bias that I had 30 minutes ago if the information now is different. If it's different now, I gotta just accept that. The market ended up moving different than how I originally planned to it, so I need to adapt to that faster. Otherwise, you're just trading what you wanted to happen, not what is happening. That's it. Like, why let the ego stop you from either making money or saving yourself some money? But it's like, no, I want to be right. Like, being childish, to be fair. Like, you want to be right or you want to make money? Like, what version of you do you want to listen to? How do you say, babe, in English, how do you say, like, caprichoso? Yeah. Stubborn, that's it? Caprichoso sounds so much worse. It's like like a tantrum. You want to throw your little baby tantrum because you want an NQ to be more bearish, and then the market said, actually, This is not how it's gonna go today. Right, you adapt to the market does not adapt to you, nor will it ever adapt to you, because it doesn't give a shit about what you want. Your wallets aren't fat enough for these markets, you know? All right, let's get into the majors real quick. I know we had some outlooks over here. Didn't really get anywhere, but we had some ideas. Okay, let's see. Euro kept doing its thing. Not enough momentum to go anywhere yet. No confirmations anywhere. Yep, it just keeps on dropping. The journey continues. I know, Brandon, right? Brandon, you wanted a place somewhere around here. I forgot where it was. Maybe it was this one? Or maybe it was this one over here? I don't remember. But I still got the lower one. We got, let's see. Oh, market's got a little crazy over here. Bitcoin. Looks like alts are holding up pretty decent right now. Okay. Yeah, alts are getting some momentum. You know, don't sleep on some of those cryptos. I'm not saying be a degen, but the market can get sneaky. Crypto market will sneak up on you. You forgot about it, and then all of a sudden it's back at 100K, and you're like, what the fuck? What was I doing? Where was I? I swear I was looking at the charts every day. All right, let's see what we got here. Netflix with a little bit of a bigger rebound today, 2.77. Lucid, after the bankruptcy rumors, these guys are sneaky. They had to have done that themselves. They were like, yeah, let them think we're getting bankrupt. And then boom, drops by like half. And they pick that up real quick. Sneaky guys. Guys, Weeble just like slowly but surely just climbing back up. Back above $8, my guys. Just, you know, it's like Thomas the Train over here. For those of you that were interested in picking up Klarna, and I know some of you messaged me that you wanted to pick some up, it's looking like you're getting your chance. So I think sub 17.3. Oh God, what does that mean? The trains with faces. Did those scare you as a kid? I feel like you'd be scared of that for some reason. Poor Vaughn was traumatized. Now it does. Why? Hey, who was a fan of Teletubbies and who got like the heebie-jeebies because of Teletubbies? I feel like it's like you're one or the other. Like you either loved it or you were like, yo, it was kind of weird, bro. Teletubbies? It's kind of weird. It was like cute, but like, what's going on over here? I feel like watching it with a fresh set of eyes would be different now. But there was definitely drugs happening. You know what I mean? Like psychedelics were involved in the making of some of these children TV shows. You were a Barney kid. Feel that? Freaked you out. It was kind of weird, man. Like it was like moments where it was like, oh, that's Bob the Builder, goated, for sure. It was weird for me. Yeah, I get that. Wasn't there like a giant baby or something? Oh, there's horror game parodies? Oh, that's probably crazy. Yeah, I can see that. The Sun Baby. Dragon Tales was elite, for sure. That was good vibes. Dragon Tales was like, all right, we cool. Like, it's nothing weird going on here. Yeah, guys, I do think we're gonna still go bearish on the day. I'm looking at Bitcoin here, and like Bitcoin took out these highs. Here's where I think we had our NQ entry around like 905-ish. So it took out those highs and then started dropping. So Bitcoin's holding up pretty well. I think we get some pullbacks. Wow, NQ now making its move. Son of a bitch. What could have been? What could have been? Yeah, let's see if we can roll out here, shake out. Market doesn't seem to be wanting to do that yet, but maybe there's a chance. Caillou was tight. You produced a children's TV show? What? That's crazy. Gerbert. Live puppet. That's so cool. The one about the dog out in the middle of nowhere scared me when I was little. Which one's that one? The dog in the middle of nowhere. You missed the call. It was sent to everyone that registered. Well, it was sent there, but I can drop a recording today. Magic School Bus. Magic School Bus was so sick. I feel like we need more shows like that. Oh, The Courage the Cowardly Dog. No, that show was epic. Don't know why it was for kids exactly. Well, I don't know if it was because it was what, Cartoon Network. Was it Adult Swim? Ah, no, that's a trip boat. But that one, they had some shit going on, man. But those are different eras. That's like different. Like Dragon Tales, Caillou, like that's like for like young kids. Now we're getting into like now we're getting into like young adult kind of teen, you know what I'm saying? No, Courage is actually fire. Lazy Town. What's Lazy Town? I'm like watching the little Einsteins. Yeah, I think y'all Gen, what is it? Gen Z? The Gen Z here, I'm not. You're gonna lose me. Samurai Jack was crazy. Samurai Jack was sick as fuck. As we wait for these to roll out, let's see. Yeah, Samurai Jack was so cool. I'm grateful. Whoever decided to put like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto in Toonami, bless their souls. Teen Titans. Look at this little nostalgia flood. Now my son just wants to watch other kids play with toys. I don't know. I don't know Lazy Town. I don't think so. What's Lazy Town? Let's see, Lazy Town. Let's see, you guys are gonna put me on here. Lazy Town. Hold on. Let's go to Google. Icelandic. This is from Iceland. Yeah, I've never heard of this in my life. What is this? This looks weird, dude. Oh, I've seen this guy. No, that's weird, bro. This is not, that's not it. That is not it, guys. Powder Puffs, legit. American Dragon Jake Long. Is that the one where yo, y'all remember this? Jackie Chan had like an animated show and it was actually so sick. Tom and Jerry, dude. I spent too much time. I think I tried to do Tom and Jerry, but with my brother being Tom. Clifford and Franklin. That's cute. Yeah, with the Talisman. That show was sick. Oh, what's it called? Jackie Chan Adventures? Okay. Yeah, it was dope, though. What are you talking about? American Dragon. That sounds familiar, but I don't remember. Max and Ruby. I don't know if I knew that one. Teen Titans was sick. Static Shock. I don't remember that either. This is great. Look at this. Some of these hold up. All right, y'all. Well, as much as fun as I'm having here with nostalgia, Timothy Goes to School. I don't know what that is. All I know is Timmy Turner. That boy a G. Aqua Team Hunger Force. That's different. We're going way up there. I wonder what a trading like animated show would look like. It had to be an anime. And everything would have to be just overly dramatic. Could you make a show about trading? Could it hold? Like what would it be about? Hidden stop loss? You know? Like there have to be something else to it. The decisions, the journey, the come up from being broke, busted, and disgusted. You start out living in your parents' basement. Got a laptop that's from 2004. Sounds like a vacuum. Oh wait, that's my story. Shit. And then you scale up. You know, you get your account hacked. You got to go through that one. You send money to some guy that's telling you he can 5x your money in 3 days. So you fall for all the traps. Could work. Pokemon style. Catch them all. Like what? Like all the assets are different Pokemon. The Wizard of Tao. Let's see. Your goal, your dream is to work your way into a hedge fund or something. I can see that arc. That could be a good arc. The isolation of being a trader. Then you meet your friends that trade. You're all weird loners. But together, you're still weird. For manga, Investor Z. Really? There's a manga? Oh, that's pretty cool. If you guys ever wanted to see like sweet, these are more like documentaries though. If you haven't, I know I've mentioned these plenty of times, but if you want to see documentaries, I guess actually it would be kind of like building off of this. It's just good storytelling. It's possible. It's doable. But if you guys have never seen this page, like definitely go check them out. Billionaire Bears. These guys are sick. They have like documentaries. These are like real traders. I've seen all of these so many times. But yeah, if you guys want to see, these are most of them I think are Japanese traders. You have Jesse Livermore's story on here, and Nav, Kyle Bass. But yeah, then all these Japanese traders, crazy, man. But these are pretty cool. It's a cool style. Just like clips. Yeah, check that out. Pretty sweet. What if it's not a happy ending? You just get wigged out at the end? Yo, that'd be so sad. It's actually Jesse Livermore's story. Oh, that would actually be crazy. Because he comes up multiple times, like basically becomes deca-billionaire twice and then just ends up killing himself. That would be a pretty good show, though. Not the story, not the ending you want, but it's the ending that can happen if you don't become someone else. Interesting. Well, anyways, guys, it's been fun. It's been good. It's been real. So I'll catch y'all tomorrow. If I end up taking anything here with Dow, maybe it's shakeout, I'll let y'all know. So anyways, for those of you that have been hanging around here for a while, appreciate you as always. Y'all showing the channel some love, catching up with the videos, being active and involved in the group, all means a lot. And for those of you that are newer to trading, or if you've been in the beginner stage for too long, click the link that's pinned in this chat and see what the Fast Track's all about. Take care, y'all. Peace.
And when the lights come down, I wanna feel you standing next to me. And can you hear me out? It's a lifetime in front of me. And when the time runs out, I wanna feel you standing next to me. Baby, I knew this time would arrive. I knew this time would come. Ever since I first looked in your eyes, I said you're the one. Oh my God, tell me I'm the one. Oh my God. I feel the warmth of your hand in mine. It's in the air, it's in the air, it's in the air. We breathe this all around us now. And when the lights come down, I wanna feel you standing next to me. Can you hear me now? There's a lifetime in front of me. And when the time runs out, Walls come down. I wanna feel you standing next to me. I'm alone. I hope to free myself from that angry sea. I did so. The hopes of ever having something more concrete. It was all true and constant. Wouldn't take too long for another storm to hit me. Wouldn't take too long for another storm to push me.